Welcome to SVG-TV News for Tuesday, June 8, 2021. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. The number of active COVID-19 cases in SVG continues to climb, with 15 new cases recorded between Sunday and Monday. 8 of the 15 cases were reported from 42 samples processed on Sunday, June 6, resulting in a positivity rate of 19%. The other 7 cases were reported from 245 samples processed on Monday, June 7, 2021, resulting in a positivity rate of 2.9%. A news release from the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, said 2 of the 7 new cases are linked to a school hub. 9 new recoveries were noted over the reporting period on Monday. Currently, the active cases in the country are 224. 12 persons with COVID-19 have died. 2,092 cases of COVID-19 and 1,856 recoveries have been recorded in St. Vincent and the Grenadines since March 2020. The public is urged to continue to use masks, sanitize, physically distance, and get vaccinated to reduce the spread of COVID-19 here in SVG. In other news, former Prime Minister Sir James Mitchell has raised a number of questions surrounding the disappearance of firearms and ammunition from the armory at the Georgetown Police Station. Last Friday, June 4th, the Major Crimes Unit of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force said in a news release that it has launched an investigation into the disappearance of the firearms and ammunition from the police station armory, which was ordered by Commissioner of Police Cornelius John immediately after the discovery was made. No further information was, however, provided. On radio today, Sir James questioned how someone other than the police can get access to the guns and ammunitions which should be secured at the police station.
Weapons being held in a police station in excess of, say, a single arm has to be in an armory, no matter how small. And it has to be in a location with 2 locks, held by different police in the station. I don't know if those rules have changed. I understand that these weapons were taken from the ammunition taken from the top floor of the Georgetown Police Station. How does someone get to the top floor without going through the people at the desk and so on?
Sir James said while the management of the Georgetown Police Station will come into question, the main persons to be questioned in the matter are the Commissioner of Police and the Minister of National Security.
The Minister of National Security is the one who is there elected to protect the people from misuse of weapons and misuse of guns. Are these guns going to be used to shoot the police? Or are they going to be used to shoot the citizens? There is, we come right back to the climate of fear in our country. The fear of people in their own homes. And then the fear in regard to equal opportunity in our society.
The matter involving private citizen Cornelius John of Diamond, who was reportedly shot in his leg at his home almost 2 months ago, continues to take different turns. A government senator and Deputy Speaker of the House of Assembly, Ashel Morgan, along with Assistant Director of Public Prosecution, Kareem Nelson, and a third unidentified man are said to be persons of interest in the investigation. John's lawyer, Evacuees, told SVG-TV News today that her client was asked to show up at the Calico police station yesterday for a caution statement. According to Evacuees, the encounter yesterday was bizarre, noting that the police stories kept changing as to what they really wanted from her client, and based on this, they could not take the caution statement or charge her client with an offense.
Sunday they said that they wanted to get a caution statement from him because they have two reports, one from Ashel and one from Karim, that he attacked them, allegedly with a cutlass, right? That was what they wanted me to bring him in for, to give that report. But you'd recall that about 4 weeks ago, they wanted me to bring him in to give a report because his wife had reported against him, right? And it sounded as though they meant assault. Can't be sure, but of course that never materialized. So now it has shifted to the fact that it is Karim and Ashel reported against him that he had a cutlass and there was some assault. Yesterday when I took him in, it shifted again. This time it was Ashel who was reported that he assaulted her with a cutlass and that he also used a threat towards her. So it's the first time we were hearing this, and when I tried to pin him down to what were the words, when it was said, where it was said, there was nothing for me to answer to because it was, all I could say, it was a bizarre situation.
Evacuees further noted that the police were at John's home in Diamond last Sunday and informed her that they wanted to question him on an alleged cutlass attack.
Mundane measurements that could have been taken 8 weeks ago. So the measurements did not advance the case much further, where he was sitting when Karim ran off and kicked him, where Ashed was standing and stuff like that. They took some measurements and some photographs. And then they spoke about the cutlass issue, which they asked him whether he had, which of course he absolutely denied. And I pointed out to them that the cutlass issue is a concoction and a total figment of the imagination, because the eyewitness who came there made an effort to look to see if there was any weapon around, and there was none. Plus, the police who came on the scene immediately after took photographs. And I kept saying that, photograph the scene, photograph where the shell was found. So if there was a cutlass, they would have seen it, because the man couldn't walk, he couldn't move to walk. He had to be helped up from where he was found sitting or half lying on the ground, and then taken directly to the hospital.
The veteran lawyer had requested from the police whether the persons allegedly involved in the shooting incident were licensed firearm holders. The lawyer said the police informed her that the senator who has been named in the matter does not have a licensed firearm. Evacuees said she is not pleased in the way in which the investigation is being handled.
Though the fact that the Prime Minister said the investigation was concluded, it is clear to me that it has barely started in terms of the, well, no investigation to my mind was carried out at all. Because if the basic taking of measurements, which usually happen on day one of an investigation, was not done, you ask yourself, you know, how was this investigated until it reached the stage where the file was closed and it is now with the DPP? I don't understand.
An internal investigation has been launched into the alleged beating of two sisters of Glen, reportedly by the police. This was confirmed by Commissioner of Police Cornelius John, who told SVG-TV News via a telephone interview that he has, however, heard different accounts of what transpired between the sisters and the officers who went to their home.
Investigation has been launched. We, from the police, well, as Commissioner of Police, have heard a different version of it, a version different than what the sister said. But the matters are being investigated, so at the end of the investigation, a determination will be made.
Commissioner John said, contrary to reports, no foreign officers were involved in the incident. The sisters, Ashika Antoine and Shamoran Haynes, alleged that on Friday, May 28, a number of officers came to their home in Glen and beat them. They both reportedly received medical attention at the Calico Clinic after the incident. One of the sisters also claimed that the beating triggered an asthma attack and she thought that she was going to die. Lawyer Kebakas Batiste, who is representing the sisters, said she will sue the state if compensation is not provided to her clients over the alleged assault. The Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force Criminal Investigations Department are asking the general public to assist with identifying the individual in this video. This person is said to be wanted in connection to a robbery in Kingstown. Persons with information pertaining to this investigation are asked to contact the Assistant Commissioner in charge of crimes at telephone number 1784-4561-339 or the officer in charge of the Criminal Investigations Department, Major Crimes Unit at 1784-4561-810 or any police station or police officer you are comfortable with. All information, they say, will be treated confidentially. It has been over a week and there has been no sighting of the 3 missing fishermen at sea. The SVG Coast Guard, with support from regional partners, have been conducting search and rescue operations for the missing fishing vessel and 3 fishermen on board. In a news release yesterday, the SVG Coast Guard said the missing vessel with the 3 men was last seen on the northeast coast of SVG by another fishing vessel at around 10 a.m. last Tuesday, with no other sightings to date. The president of the National Fisherfolk Organization, Winsbert Harry, and several other fishermen have been out at sea searching for their missing colleagues. However, they also have been unsuccessful in their attempts. Harry told SVG-TV News via a telephone interview today that from all indication, the fishermen were not well equipped for their fishing expedition.
They didn't have no these kind of equipment like the VHF radios and GPS. I think they had a cellular phone. But how far the cellular phone could go is something we're trying to encourage boat owners to buy for the boat as well, to show interest. But on the other hand, we the fishers have to show interest in our livelihood as well, too, in terms of safety at sea, because when we go out, we have our loved ones who leave behind. And
meanwhile, the SVG Coast Guard Service is reminding the maritime community to take extra precaution when venturing out to sea, as we are now in the hurricane season. It further employs fishermen and boat operators to practice safety by having all necessary equipment and devices when going out to sea. More than 140 evacuees who occupied the girls' high school as a shelter since the eruption of La Soufrière volcano on April 9, 2021 have vacated the premises and returned home. So said principal of the GHS, Michelle Beach. The persons who were staying at the GHS shelter were mainly from the Georgetown area, and Beach said they left last Tuesday with the help of the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO. She said a few persons were, however, transferred to another shelter.
Have gone back home. The others have been placed at the Doris Mackey Learning Center because they are from the Sandy Bay overland areas. So they have not gone back home. They are in another shelter. We are taking down things like drapes that were placed in each of the rooms, because we had drapes in each of the rooms for privacy. And the cleaners are doing initial cleaning. We have to have power washing done. We have to have sanitization done. So we have to really do deep cleaning of the entire school.
Most of the shelters that have been vacated by the volcano evacuees are being prepared to house persons for the hurricane season. However, the GHS may not be one of these shelters.
Used as a shelter for the hurricane season. So I am not even sure that we are going to be considered as a shelter for the hurricane season. NEMO has not confirmed that as yet, so we are not really preparing ourselves for that.
Economist and MP for East Kingston, Fitzgerald Bramble, said now more than ever, steps must be taken to empower citizens to lift up their communities, which will make it much easier to attain the developmental agenda of the country. Bramble was a panelist on SVG-TV's Viewpoint program discussing the socio-economic impact of the eruption of Lasso Freya and the way forward.
As I said in the beginning, the togetherness, the community spirit, the resilience, the creativity that our people exhibited in responding to this volcanic eruption disaster convinces me even more that if we empower our people to empower themselves and to empower and uplift their communities, our developmental agenda would be much more effectively obtained. I mean, you can't just... Politicians and governments don't have a monopoly on ideas. We have demonstrated in this country that our people can be as creative and can be as successful at any developmental activity as they want to be. Let us put the power into the hands of the people, give them the opportunity to develop their communities, whether you want to go local government, community development, whatever it is. But we need to have that conversation, and in my view, and we need to really take a serious look at alternative ways of development. We need to decentralize our government and let the people be more involved.
Bramble also suggests that the government find ways to promote a strong, vibrant private sector.
It is ranked 127th in the world for ease of doing business. And some recent developments would not work in our favor. If I'm a foreign business person looking to go to a destination to set up business, one of the first things I look for is safety and security. What's going on with the rule of law and order? And we have been under the microscope in recent times for that. Those are some of the issues we have to address. The tax rate, the corporate tax rate, we need to seriously look at that. I heard the Prime Minister say not too long ago, $300 million in uncollected taxes in this country. Why is that so? Is it because the tax rate is too high? Would you prefer to get 30% of 0? Or would you prefer to get 20% of 1? You know, those are real issues. Our private sector needs serious support. And we have to encourage. I mean, look in Tongford, and I'm not talking only about foreign investors, by the way. I'm talking about indigenous, local people as well.
The Fisheries Department today called on fisheries stakeholders globally to invest sustainably in our seas and oceans as SVG joins the rest of the world in observing World Oceans Day under the theme The Ocean Life and Livelihood. Minister of Fisheries Roberta Caesar said a commercial fisheries sector in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is a critical part of the modern developmental frontier, which will enable significant economic growth for our local economy. However, he stressed that it must be done sustainably. The minister further stated that the opportunities which are currently presenting themselves in the blue economy must be explored by all. He noted that the public and the private partnership platform, which provides an opportunity for the private sector to lease government-owned fisheries export facilities, has increased the island's capacity to process more fish caught locally or landed from transshipment, and that the completion of the rainforest seafood processing plant will also provide additional capacity for local fishers to access additional markets here and elsewhere. The Fisheries Department reported that for the past 3 decades, it has provided relevant information to stakeholders on the status and trends of the fisheries sector and stressed the importance of implementing proper data collection systems by fisheries services, as sound knowledge of the status and trends of captured fisheries will assist in the development of meaningful policies and greater stakeholder participation. During the months of June and July, the department said public consultation with stakeholders in the fisheries sector will continue in an effort to revise the National Fisheries and Marine Resource Management Policy. Meanwhile, Communication and Public Education Officer of the National Parks, Rivers and Beaches Authority, Twanique Barrow, is encouraging citizens to dispose of their garbage properly to reduce the challenges already facing the marine lives, noting that the eruption of La Soufrière volcano has negatively impacted the marine and coastal ecosystem.
And you know that we have beaches that are turtle nesting beaches, and many of these turtles, you know, they confuse some of the plastic waste that are disposed on our beaches, and they think that they are food and they eat them, and obviously they die. So we have to be mindful, especially as it pertains to our litter. We have to be mindful of where we dispose our litter. I will encourage persons to use the bins, because once these plastics and these organic waste end up, if you throw them in the river, they're going to end up in the sea and obviously in the ocean, and all of the livelihood, whether the plants and animals, they are affected by the waste. So we are encouraging persons to be mindful of how they dispose their litter.
Barrow said in commemoration of World Oceans Day, the Sustainable Development Unit and the Ministry of Tourism, in collaboration with the Environmental Day Commemoration Committee, will host a beach cleanup exercise at the Diamond Beach on Friday.
So the National Environmental Days Commemoration Committee is using World Oceans Day to remind the public that the sustainable management, conservation and restoration of our coastal and marine ecosystems are vital to support the continued provision of ecosystem services on which people depend on. And you know that despite our challenges, you know, with the eruption of the La Soufrière volcano and, you know, the COVID-19 pandemic, we do believe by working together, we can and will protect and restore our ocean. And we just want to remind the public that it is our individual and collective responsibility to ensure that the health of our ocean for today and for our future generation. We are having a beach cleanup at the Diamonds Beach on Friday. So, you know, we're inviting persons in the community to join us if they are available. And let's try to keep our beaches in St. Vincent clean and healthy.
A passion for geography has propelled local student Kenisi Baines to capture the Outstanding Candidate for Geography in the 2020 CXC Awards. Baines, a former student of the St. Joseph Convent, Mariquar, received the Professor Wilma Bailey Award during a virtual ceremony last Thursday, June 3rd, hosted by CXC for their annual presentation of award for outstanding performances in the July-August 2020 examination. The award was presented on behalf of CXC by Senior Education Officer with responsibility for secondary schools, K. Martin Jack. The ceremony was held at the St. John's Pentecostal House of Restoration Ministries in Antigua and Barbuda, and was streamed live on SVG-TV on www.cxc.org. The original awardees participated and accepted their awards virtually. Meanwhile, 15-year-old Marika Batiste of the Girls High School, who won the Black History Month Secondary School Speech Competition, received her prizes today along with 3 other students and a mentor. They collected close to $4,000 in prizes from the U.S. Embassy in Barbados. Representing the U.S. Embassy was Maxine Brown, a former alumna, who said that this is the first time that St. Vincent is hosting the award ceremony since the inception of the program 4 years ago.
I should call for more to be done to encourage women to participate in politics in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and perhaps later we'll hear a little from America. On behalf of the U.S. Embassy in Barbados, I would like to enthusiastically congratulate Marika Batiste, winner of the Black History Month Secondary School Speech Competition 2021, for her outstanding presentation. Today, Marika, we recognize your victory. To Marika and each student at the St. Vincent Girls High School, we want to implore you to let your talent shine, to show all of you your personality, your gift, your style, your uniqueness, your dedication, your dream, your passion to succeed. Let your talent shine, to always persist, persevere, always persist, and never give up, even when it gets tough.
Several other students from the Girls High School entered a speech competition in different categories. The winning topic was on women in politics, which was captured by Marika Batiste. Batiste told our news team that she has never backed down from a speech competition and took on the challenge head-on.
To finally get to be a participant and winning that competition. And over the quarantine period, one of my friends, well, my classmate, Carissa Thomas, sent me the advertisement for the U.S. Embassy speech competition. And she said, I think this is good for you. I think you should go for it. And I told my auntie, who is my mentor, Colleen Marshall, and she said, let's do it. And at first I wanted to do the prompt on leadership, but she said, I don't think that's the one for you. So we went with the one on women. And I think it was a success. I really had fun doing it. It was stressful at times, yes, because I had to record over and over again because it had to be 3 minutes. But all in all, I think the experience was awesome, and I can't wait to see what I do from here.
Batiste's mentor, Carleen Marshall, is equally proud of her accomplishment.
The finish, what she thought was the finished product, but I was not quite satisfied. So we had a series of back and forth to get it just right. Even then we were cut when I wasn't so sure that she had done enough to win, because I kept telling her there were some aspects that could have been sharpened, but we were pleasantly surprised that she won, and we're happy. It's been amazing. She's an easy person to work with. She has a drive. She's determined. She knows what she wants.
Several other persons involved in the competition also collected packages from the U.S. Embassy.